Hey captains, this is the new series for you. It's called Waterline with me, Phil and Phil.
So Phil, what about aircraft carriers in clan battles?
That's a good question, Phil. They're still not going to be present for the third season because they do not necessarily fit that particular meta. And the main reason is actually that we are working on a new iteration of the aircraft carrier gameplay. The basics are going to be that now it's an action gameplay, it's not a real-time strategy. Players will be able to have direct control over their air squads one at a time. They'll be able to control where they put in damage onto the enemy ship. And the AA defense will also have some more opportunities to strike against the particular planes.
So what problems are we trying to solve with this new design then?
Well, let's go one by one. We have overspotting, we have, I don't want to say it, but it's colossal skill gap. Pretty high entry level to actually learn the carrier gameplay, and a lot of players get discouraged when they just first see it because it's not as action-packed, obviously. We're working new iteration. I've seen it myself. I like it. I hope we make it to the production and you guys can try them out in the next clan seasons. We'll see.
Yeah guys, sorry we can't share more details right now because we're still working on lots of features for this, but as soon as we're ready we'll show it to you on some public test and you'll be able to try it. As for now, I just want to assure you, because you probably are asking now, like, okay, they are changing carriers completely, but I enjoyed previous gameplay, I don't want to play new carriers, what happens? Well, when we are sure what actually kind of gameplay goes to production, we'll create some patterns, some rules for compensation, for exchanging your ships, so don't worry about that, you won't lose anything, just be sure to keep calm and let us work on this new prototype for now. Okay Phil, so for the purpose of this discussion, let's imagine that you are not an introvert and you play clan battles. Yeah, you can imagine that. You play ranked battles, you have a lot of tier 10 ships in your port. So the question is, what are we going to do for hardcore and high tier players?
Yeah, that's a good question too. And I have some leverage in the development. No, I don't, but I know some details. One of the measures that we're going to take is we're going to introduce some new currencies or resources, if you like to call them that. So the working titles for now are coal and steel. Steel will be awarded for some high-level PvP activities like clan wars and ranked battles, and coal for anything else, but also at the high levels. Basically, these new resources allow players to choose what they want to get. As you know, in ranked battles, it takes 3 first ranks to get a flint, 5 first ranks to get a black. And now it's going to be you collecting resources, you choosing what you want to spend them on, and for example, getting that flint. And I think, if I'm not wrong, if you get enough steel, you can get that.
Stalingrad.
Yes. Yeah.
So the point, guys, is that this is a high-tier shop, and shop means freedom of choice for you, what rewards do you want to get first, and of course, there is more to it.
I think all of us put some significant meaning into that one little ship that we all have in our ports, and I mean
the most popular ship in the game, the home to our torpedo polishing guys, the cargo ship.
Cargo ship, oh yeah.
I know you've been asking for a long time, well, you've been not, but anyways, but now you'll be able to actually pump it up.
Yeah, there will be several upgrades. You'll be able to basically tier it up, and things that you'll be able to get from it are, for example, an extra container, an extra daily container, a container that you can get for free XP,
yep,
and a resource container. So if you're collecting steel or coal, that will be another way to get that. Many of us like Japanese destroyers, and the Akizuki is a really popular one. And there's only one small issue with it. There's nowhere to go once you reach the tier 8. Is there something we've come up with?
Yeah, guys, we know you've been enjoying this unique and beautiful ship for more than a year, and we finally managed to find good candidates for continuing this line. So, Tier 9 is going to be a ship Kitakaze. It's an actual Japanese design. It was based on Akizuki. I think it was called Akizuki Kai project or V6 project. Actually, several ships were ordered to be built in 1943, but they were unfortunately cancelled in 1944. Anyways, in game, it's going to be an improved Akizuki, and as for Tier 10, there is a project like of our own design, Harugumo. So our historical department tried to elaborate on how IGN Navy would expand this design. And they came up with a design of better, heavier Akizuki with an extra turret.
Yeah.
Extra turret. And extra A defense. So guys, right now this ship are in production, and it's a bit early to tell you about details like what equipment will they have, but be sure that these ships will continue the gameplay pattern of current Akizuki, and you'll be able to enjoy this gameplay, but on higher tiers.
Will I need to respec my commander?
No, because the artillery is the same, 100mm, and all your perks, I think they will be quite viable on new ships.
Nice.
So Phil, what about older ships? Because new ships is cool, but what are we going to do to improve some of vehicles that are in the game already?
Yeah, there are quite many, as you know. And a small fix that we found out that we can finally implement, we couldn't due to some technical reasons, but as you know, some ships, they have their catapult plane launchers on the main battery turrets and not on the decks. Among those are, for example, La Galissonière, Iron Duke, Wyoming, and now they're going to have those turret launchers as well as the accordion equipment. So basically, yeah, plane consumables, which is cool. It's finally spring here in St. Petersburg, but we do have some issues from time to time that the players report to us and that make the gameplay somewhat uncomfortable. And one of those is the damage model, and in particular the armor penetrating shells versus the destroyers, especially from the battleships. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, the credit actually goes to the players here. Thank you guys for sharing this feedback with us, and we do acknowledge this problem. So the mechanics works like this. When a shell, especially heavy AP shell, let's say battleship shell, hits a destroyer, especially angled, it can actually arm against the effective armor. The armor is very thin, so it also penetrates it. And then it has all chances to explode inside the ship. And if we were speaking about BB shells, their alpha damage is very high, and for destroyer that can mean actually losing 1/3 of HP, just casually losing half of HP in the beginning of battle, which actually frustrates players. So we were trying to solve this problem, and we created a prototype where shells actually arm not at effective armor, but at nominal armor. And it worked, it solved the problem, but it created another chain problems, because for example some light cruisers really got a lot more survivable. Right. And some heavy cruisers, on the contrary, they started to lose more HP due to mechanics being applied to the whole game, of course. So guys, sorry for that. This prototype, I think it's not successful, but we're still working on solving this issue, just, the other way.
Yeah, sorry, these things, they do take time, but we are working on that, you better believe it.
Speaking of weather, for quite a long time we have in our game gameplay weather, which actually called Cyclone, and it changes gameplay, it applies to the whole map, but on the other hand we introduce a new type of weather in operation. So can you elaborate on how we're going to use it in the future? Right,
so if you remember, and you probably do, in Hermes just a couple of months ago, we had the thunderstorm front, a phenomena that was moving along the map and actually putting players in different weather conditions with different visibility and dispersion values and detectability as well. And that was quite popular actually. People like the operation, and we think it's much cooler than Cyclone in this iteration, so we're considering adding that to the tier 10 battles with a particular chance. Not sure yet what that's going to be exactly, but expect to see local weather events in the high tier battles.
Yeah, and expect some small steps here. We're not going to introduce it to every tier 10 battle. The probability will be like very average, maybe even low. And we look forward to hearing from you. Like, how do you like it?
Yeah, a lot depends on your feedback. So, my esteemed comrade Philip, when it comes to technology in this game... I'm sorry. Phil, so if we speak about the game technology and optimization and whatnot, some reports from players to the development team, are we doing anything in that regard?
So guys, when you have some technical issues in the game, so you encounter some bugs, what we want to improve first is actually technical means to gather all necessary data from you to resolve the issue, to understand the issue. And right now normally you have to submit a lot of data manually when you're contacting tech support, for example, but we're working on automated tools which will allow us to do it without your really efforts. And then, of course, we are working on optimization. Phil, I think you are expert in this, so...
Sure. Optimization is my middle name, actually. Phil Optimization Glushikov, as you know.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, thank you. We are going to implement the texture streaming technology. That means that you are not necessarily going to have all of the textures, all of the effects, all of the graphic stuff in your RAM, therefore freeing up some space, making it more useful so you can do something on your second monitor or in the background, and making the game loading times shorter as well. And if the game takes less resources, we can make it even more pretty and so on and so forth, but that's not in such a near future. And speaking about optimizations and technology, there is an issue that you know about, the one with spotting and the ship actually appearing on the minimap and then only sometime after appearing in the game world. Are we doing anything about that?
Yeah, so guys, we all know about this issue, thanks for reporting it. That depending on your connection and your PC performance, sometimes you can have some discrepancies between the moment when you see the ship on minimap, the moment that you see the effects of the ship, like funnel smoke, and actually the model appearing in 3D world. So this is the issue, and we're working both on some temporary solution to reduce this lag, and we're working on totally rewriting visibility code to resolve this issue completely. And now we only can ask for your patience and say sorry for inconvenience, but we're going to fix this.
Yes, we are. So another thing that I'm excited about are heroic achievements for fulfilling a support role. Because as we all know, our game is not only about individual achievements. It's about being a part of a team. It's helping your team, and getting achievements for example, capping a control point or defending it. I think it's a very nice, cool addition. But we do not stop there. As you know, in 7.4, we've made some improvements to the UI, upgrades, captain skills. Commander skills, and so on. But in the coming updates, we're also thinking about streamlining the ship tech trees, making the advantages of each one more obvious, having the selling points available to the player right away. So the new players are more comfortable. They do not need to think about that much what they want to go for next. And the veterans, it's just more in order, so they'll appreciate it too. And I think there are some news and development about integrating some of the modifications. You should know more about that.
Of course. So guys, we've been monitoring what modifications actually you like to use and monitoring discussions. And we saw some controversy about particular mods, like, for example, the mod which is called, I think, Traffic Light, which shows whether your target is speeding up or slowing down. The mod that shows your target, target reticle on minimap, and some other mods. So what we're going to do is we're going to rethink these mods, because we don't think that they give unfair advantage, but we think that it could be a very cool option to have in the game. So we want to design this information to be present in stock client, but in less obtrusive way probably.
Captains, I'm Phil Filigula. This is Phil Sub-Octavian. Hope you liked what we had to share with you. Please subscribe, please smash that like button.
Be sure to actually give your feedback, because we are very interested to know what things do you want to hear about in the next episode. Good luck, have great battles, and see you!
Action stations.